Could next year's Oscars ceremony get postponed? It's a real possibility. Talk about that and more next. Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Ashley and this is Ashley Talks Movies. Welcome to my channel. Before we get started and all that Oscars talk, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos, and also hit that notification bell so that you get notified each time a new video is posted. So the Oscars could get postponed. That's according to the latest report from Variety. They're citing multiple sources who've talked to them and said that discussions are being had about possibly moving the ceremony. And this really shouldn't come as a shock to anybody given the current situation. But yeah, I mean, discussions are happening. Now, nothing has changed as of yet. And Variety mentions that in their report, basically saying that, the date is still set for next year in February. But there are discussions about what to do. Maybe delay it, change things up. So it's interesting, this bit of news is coming, shortly after the Academy issued some temporary rule changes for eligibility for the Oscars. With movie theaters being closed because of the coronavirus pandemic, some films have been released in different kind of platforms or on different kind of platforms because the theaters are closed. So now, in addition to that, the rule changes, it's a possibility that the ceremony itself could be changed or postponed as well. This shouldn't really come as a shock to anybody, again, given the current situation. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, theaters are closed, the whole industry is like shaken up by this. But, I'm one of those people, some people don't probably care about the Oscars. I'm one of those people, I really do enjoy the Oscars. It is my Super Bowl, basically. I get so excited about the Oscars and watching the ceremony. I have a whole routine every year. I will watch all of the Best Picture nominees leading up to the ceremony. And I'll fill out my Oscars ballot and then watch the ceremony and see, how many films, how many things I get correct on my ballot. So for me, I'm really paying attention to this because I want to know what happens. But in the same regard, it's one of those things where there could be pros and cons to this. Hypothetically, if they were to move the Oscars back a month or two or even several months, what would be a pro for that? Well, again, theaters are closed. A lot of movies have gotten pushed back. So if they postpone the ceremony, that would give films a little bit extra time, whenever the theaters do reopen, to be released in theaters, to get, their theatrical run in, and even maybe, I don't know if they'll change the rules in terms of when submissions can get, when submissions can be put in, to give filmmakers more time to submit their films and things for the Oscars. But yeah, postponing the ceremony would give everyone a little bit more time. One of the cons would be, as more films get pushed back, either later this year or even to 2021, because 2021 is going to be a very big year for films. You run into the issue of it being an overcrowded field. I mean, what happens if a film that was eligible for 2020 makes the eligibility, right? Gets lumped in with a film that comes out in 2021 that, if they extend the eligibility time frame, then gets lumped in with that one. So now you have even more films competing for those awards. Also too, for the ceremony, what will the Oscars look like in terms of a ceremony? You already have, large gatherings right now, at least can't happen. And, the Oscars is the gathering of all these filmmakers and actors and actresses and writers and producers, and just there's a lot of people who gather for the ceremony into, the theater. So, will they be able to hold the ceremony in that capacity next year? Who knows? But I mean, again, this is all just me thinking out loud. Nothing has changed as of right now. Okay, the Oscars are still set for February, and you know that nothing has been announced in terms of change. But again, it's the interesting part about this is just that there's a conversation happening about, you know, maybe to move it, you know, postpone it, delay it, whatever. That's just kind of the new reality right now, is that nothing is really set in stone, right? You could have a film have a release date, and then, you know, based on what's happening right now in terms of, you know, social distancing and outbreaks and things like that, you might have to change that release date. I mean, it's happened with a bunch of studios. They pushed it back to the summer, some of their movies, and now some of them are pushing it back to the fall because, you know, theaters still haven't reopened yet. So everything is kind of fluid, I think, at this point. It's like you can make plans, and then you might have to change them because of the current situation. And so I think it's important, and I think it's great that they're having this conversation now, because the last thing you want to do is get to, you know, closer to the end of the year when all these films are maybe be coming out, especially if theaters reopen, and then suddenly it's like, oh, well, we can't have this ceremony, or we can't have the Oscars, or like we have to make all these changes. And then you run into some issues. But anyway, so that's kind of it. You know, the Oscars could get postponed, or they could stay, you know, the same date as they currently are right now. So just share your thoughts with me in the comment section below. While you're here, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.